All right. I wish to greet all attendees present here and all our viewers where this special event is being streamed live on different platforms. Of course, we are here gathered, our esteemed guests, for the sole purpose of inaugurating our SRC, Central SRC, of course, our campus SRC at the University of Johannesburg. We have got a very short, nice, of course, program. Without waste of time, I need to introduce myself. My name is Nelly Dwaba. I'll be serving as your program director of the day. Of course, I had an opportunity to also be the chairperson of the SRC Electoral Committee, the one that is serving currently. I'm now going to allow Mr. Kenneth Ntombela to come to the podium and welcome all our guests, those that are present with us and those that are viewing this event live. Of course, we'll also do a brief introduction of why we're here. And then, of course, the second speaker that I'll call will be Mandla, who will outline the purpose, the roles, and the responsibilities of SRC. Mr. Kenneth Ntombela, please come to the podium. Thank you.
Sanbonan, Dumela, answer bahle. You make me think of going back and become a student again, and become an SRC. The way you look so nice. So welcome to all of you. I want to also just extend a special welcome to our SD, Nomsa Matlang, our colleagues, our fellow director, from legal, Tahira, welcome. Also Nell, a special welcome also to all my colleagues from Student Affairs that are here. The colleagues from Student Affairs know that all of us, we've got a duty to work with our SRC, together with the SRC, to advocate for students, to assist, to help with administration, and do all possible to make sure that at the end of the day, you as our SRC, you also perform well academically. You learn to balance your responsibilities. Advocate for students, but also don't forget what you came from. So a special welcome to all of you. Our guests that are here, thank you. And then also to the main important people here, our SRC. So with those ways, I just want to say to all of you that one of our leaders made, and I quote the statement, "It is in your hands to create a better world for all of us to live in it." So I'm saying to the leaders, it is in your hands to create a better world for all of us to listen to it. Nelson Mandela, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ntombela. Nice words of welcome, and I hope all of us now we are having comfort in participating in this special gathering. Traditionally and ordinarily, program directors need to offer some remarks after each and every speaker. But I learned the hard way while I was invited at another university to preside as a program director, because I'm a speaker myself, you know. So I made remarks, and only to find that when the keynote speaker comes, she had nothing to say because of all things that were supposed to be said. They were said by the program director. So for that reason, you need to pardon me. I don't want to put our senior director in another different position where she'll have to start all over to prepare a speech. So I'm just going to make just a bit remarks. Before we continue, I happened to meet one or two SRC members, and each time when I meet them, they'll say to me, hey, today the council is meeting. The council is meeting. And I ask, which council are you talking about? The University Council is meeting today. But I want to reiterate to you, our SRC members, you are the Students' Representative Council. Recognize yourself as that. You are the Council of Students. There is a difference between SRC and the University Council. So do not reduce your own council to something else, because of your council is equally important as the one for the university, because of your council plays the role of making sure that it serves the interest of the students. All right. So when you are saying the council is meeting, say the university council is meeting, you must understand which council is meeting. Mandla, it's your time. Thank you.
Program Director, Mr. Nelly Dwaba, Senior Director, Student Affairs and Sports, Ms. Nomsama Hlangu, members of staff from Student Affairs, our esteemed members of the SRC led by the President, greetings, members of staff as well that have joined from our legal services, Ms. Tahira Johnson, greetings once more. I promise, Senior Director, I'm not going to steal your words as well. Maybe let's also begin where it all started. Why the SRC precisely exists in our university spaces. The SRC derives its mandate from the Higher Education Act, Section 35, that compels that we should have student governance that forms part of the university body. So without the SRC, the university does not exist. So the SRC, please note that the university recognizes you as an integral part of what actually happens in the university. So I'm here to outline the purpose of the SRC so that you understand when you go back and serve why you exist in our university spaces. The first one is service. You need to provide the service to the university. You serve the interest of the university and, more importantly, your peers, the students that have elected you. So it is important that you note that you are here to represent and provide service, as well as student leadership engagement. That is also very important, that you engage with your constituencies that have elected you. Engagement, we're not talking about limited to events only. Look at developmental programs that will benefit students at the end of the day. And also create leadership opportunities for general students as well as leaders, because students are here in our hands. We also need to ensure that we develop them. So that role, it's not only the role of management. You need to work with us and ensure that we collaborate to ensure that we service our community. Another thing that I want to speak about is attendance and participation. It's also important that the SRC, in platforms that are created for you, you attend meetings, you participate in everything that is happening in our university community. So that is also very important. So please, this event, it's not just a lip service of saying, no, we're just doing an inauguration. We also want you to feel that you are part of what is actually happening in the university, because without the SRC, there is no university. So that is also very important to note. And I also want to speak about collaboration. Collaboration is also very important. I know that we come from diverse students' organization with different mandates. It's important that we collaborate. I always speak about the interface between governance and politics. When we are in governance, we forget the structures that we serve, as much as we're expected to report, but it's also important that you represent students because you are in governance. Let me also speak briefly about our ambition that we have as student affairs to professionalize the work of the SRC. We cannot do it alone. We need you on board as well to ensure that in our pursuit to professionalize the work of the SRC, you participate in meetings, ensure that you are there, presentable. So that is also very important. Program Director, I will not take long, but there are a few pointers that I also want to speak about. A leader in the 21st century. What is leadership in the 21st century? And what is also important to note? You need to be adaptable and also embrace technology that we have. In UJ, we are already pursuing the 4th industrial revolution, so it's important that you also note that, embrace technology, and ensure that you are an advocate of social justice. Students that are marginalized, they need the SRC to speak on their behalf. So that is also very important. And also leadership comes with a lot of responsibilities. One of them is empathy. Show empathy when you are servicing your community. Don't place yourself in that pedestal that, I'm a leader. Have empathy. Talk to your constituency. And more importantly, societal impact, it's also very important. The university is embracing societal impact. So ensure that you participate in community engagement project. Let's service the university community as well as communities around us. And if you embody these qualities, you'll be impactful in the UJ society. Let me leave you with one quote from Miles Monroe. I quote, "Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, motivated by passion, generated by vision." So I want you to reflect as I go and sit down, what legacy do you want to leave behind at the University of Johannesburg? So with those few words, I just want you to have a reflection that you shouldn't just be a leader, but leave a legacy in the university. I thank you, Program Director.
Thank you, Mandla. I couldn't agree with you more. You have touched on the very most key important factors, especially in the skills, leadership skills that one needs to acquire. And what also touched me more is that as leaders, as Student Representative Council, we need to make sure that we're not left behind. Meaning, I know for a fact that there are some, or to some, leadership, it's about a calling. You enjoy leadership, you enjoy giving solutions, providing solutions, and at the end of the day, you might fall behind, and this is what we don't need. So just make sure that in the back of it, you know and understand that at home, they still expect you to graduate. And if you graduate, if you emerge as a graduate and equally even served as an SRC member, it's a plus. Other than having not obtained a qualification then, but you have got credentials of being an SRC. That will be a sad story. Let me tell you something. A year back, actually it was during COVID, I was at another shop and I was on the queue. And there are these guys approaching this lady. And then he says to this lady, he called her by her name, confidently so. But the lady struggled to recognize the guy. And the gentleman said, "Don't you know me?" And the lady said, "No, I do not know you." And the gentleman said, "Look at me and look at me properly." And the lady stared at him. And then the gentleman said, "Don't you remember that I was the president of the SRC at this institution?" And the lady said, "Oh, why do you look this way? Why do you look this way?" You know what I'm saying? Because he failed to acquire qualifications that could have elevated him somewhere else. The moral of the story is that students know you, you might not know them, but because of their representatives, they know you. It will be nice and it will be good that after you obtain your qualifications, you elevate yourself somewhere. You have got a qualification, plus you have got credentials that have been served you as an SRC member. I'm now going to call upon the keynote speaker to address us, Ms. Nomsa Mahlangu. Thank you.
Sanbonan. Good afternoon. Oh, morning. Yeah, hey, some of us start very early. It feels like afternoon already. Hey, technology at times it will dribble you. Good morning once again, esteemed colleagues, members of Student Affairs, the MC Nell, my lovely colleague Tahira. Me and her are classmates somewhere else. So we're also still studying and improving ourselves. Colleagues from Student Affairs, particularly the SDPs, and the most important people in the room this morning, the incoming SRC. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor of the University of Johannesburg, Professor Letlhokwa Mpedi, and his entire MEC, it is a great honor that I stand before you today to celebrate the inauguration of the new SRC. This is a momentous occasion that marks a beginning of a new chapter in your lives as student leaders at the University of Johannesburg. First and foremost, congratulations for being elected to represent other students. Give yourselves a round of applause. Professor Chilidzi Marwala, I quote, he continues to say, "Those who do not read cannot lead." It therefore means, as leaders, we must continuously read so that we can lead better. The Student Representative Council plays a pivotal role in our university community. Nell spoke about it earlier on when he said, you are the Student Representative Council, and you have a responsibility towards the students that have elected you. You, the elected members of the SRC, are the voice of the student body. It is not about you, it is about those that you lead and those that have voted you in. You are the bridge between students and the administration, including the management of the university. You have to ensure that students' concerns are heard and addressed. Through your leadership and dedication, you will shape the student experience here at the University of Johannesburg. But your role extends beyond representation. The SRC is a breeding ground for future leaders. I'm a former SRC member myself, and thanks to the SRC for granting me opportunities that would not have been ordinarily granted. Now, as student leaders, you will learn to problem solve. You will acquire a skill of critical thinking. It is your responsibility to ensure that you improve on your communication skills, because you have to communicate with your peers, you have to communicate with your seniors, and it is important to know and understand how to communicate at different levels. Something very important. Mandla spoke about you being present in meetings. Today, you look so beautiful. I am so honored to stand in front of this room filled with so many beautiful ladies and so many handsome gentlemen. You look really lovely. Give yourselves a round of applause. When we go to meetings, we need to be representing those that have voted us in. Therefore, I would request that as the SRC, when we go to formal meetings, can we try and be formal? And let's ditch the headgears for formal meetings. We can enjoy our headgears when we go to sporting events, cultural events, and when we go to different spaces where we socialize. Now, you need to continuously equip yourselves with skills to excel in whatever path you choose after graduation. Your time in the SRC is also an opportunity to embody the very values that University of Johannesburg holds dear. They say time and tides waits for no man, and time wasted shall never be regained. As a leader, it is important that you keep to time. Excellence is one of University of Johannesburg's values. As the SRC, you need to strive for excellence in all your endeavors, both academic, extracurricular, and even when you represent other students. Set high standards for yourselves and your fellow students. No one has drowned in their own sweat. And sleep is overrated. Yes, it is important to sleep, but don't let life pass you by whilst you are snoring and dreaming. Diversity and inclusion. Our university thrives on its rich tapestry of culture, background, and perspective. Embrace this diversity and ensure that we are inclusive in everything that we do. Use this to strengthen the student body. It cannot be correct that when we have our events, not all students are represented. Innovation. The spirit of innovation is what drives progress and the University of Johannesburg. Be bold, be creative, challenge the status quo, find new ways of doing things. We cannot do things like the SRC of Mhlobo, of Mandla, and obviously Nell did things. Let's do things differently. Social responsibility. Remember the power you have to make a positive impact in the world and in the university itself. Advocate for social change. Mandla has already said that. And contribute to building a better future for all. Sustainability. Be mindful of the environment and the resources we share. By the way, I don't understand why the MC is carrying a paper. We are an institution of 4IR. So promote sustainability practices on campus and beyond. Leading for social impact. Take this concept a step further. It is about harnessing your leadership to address challenges and improve the life of others, ultimately shaping a better society. As you embark on this journey, remember you are not alone. We are here for you, and we are here to walk the journey with you. All you need to do is reach out. The student affairs staff, the university staff at large are here for you because without the student body, we don't have an institution. We are here to guide, we are here to mentor, we are here to help you succeed. We are not here as a force that is there to fight. You know, as student leaders, we tend to look at management as the force against us. No, we are not. We are here to ensure that your journey as a student leader is enjoyable, first and foremost. Secondly, that students are served in the best way that we can. So to all of you as the new SRC, congratulations once again. We have immense faith in your potential and ability to lead this institution to greater heights. Mandla asked a question: what legacy do you want to leave? When you go to bed tonight, reflect on the legacy that you want to lead. Embrace challenges and take opportunities that lie ahead of you. Remember, opportunities are there to be taken, and opportunities will make you a better person. Lead with integrity, serve with passion. I just want to share a story of a gentleman who was a general in the army. He went to address a conference, and at the time he got to the airport, there was a limousine waiting for him. He was ushered into the limo. He was taken to the conference venue. There were a lot of people waiting for him to go to the stage. He got his coffee, and he enjoyed the experience. A few years later, the same gentleman was no longer in the army. He went to the same conference. When he got to the airport, there was no one. He needed to find a taxi for himself. When he got to the conference venue, there was no one for him. He had to have coffee in a polystyrene cup, and there was no one to show him to a seat. He had to find his own seat. The experience was different, but he was the same man. So it is important for you as the SRC to know that the positions that you hold will not last forever, and we are not our positions. So respect the position that you hold by ensuring that you arrive on time for meetings and you prepare before meetings. As I conclude, I've already said the importance of leading with integrity. We live in a society where there's a lot of corruption. And as the SRC, I believe we are in a position where we can be able to fight corruption and not be part of corruption. Make your mark at the University of Johannesburg, because the future lies ahead. Congratulations once again, and thank you, Program Director.
Thank you very much to Ms. Mahlangu. I think we've all enjoyed, I've personally enjoyed her talk. In most instances, when the program director stand up, then the one on the podium understands that your time is over. But I was still seated, enjoying what you were saying. So we have touched, of course, on most important things. I think now I can talk now that she delivered the keynote speech. All right, I'm joking, but I've noted most important things, most especially that she mentioned that the SRC and the management are not enemies. I think Ms. Mahlangu, I think also Dahira and Kenneth, I'm looking at your age now. You'll agree with me to say, yes, including yourself, you'll agree with me to say there is a difference between the leadership of prior 1994 and the one after 1994. The one prior 1994, they were radical and aggressive based on the circumstances because there was no access of engagement in anything. So whatever that was happening prior, the only thing that you had to use were force, anything that you had so that those doors can open. Today's leadership is about providing solutions than demanding solutions to management. We meet each other halfway. And that's how, and in the society, today's society, they're looking at leaders who can provide solutions than leaders who can demand solutions. So for that, I think it's a very important takeaway that all our SRC can live with. And also the importance of UJ having recognized the criteria for serving as an SRC to be academic performance. I think that also assisted, because of how do you become a representative of an F7 while you are an F7 case yourself? Because of that's what we found ourselves when we were at tertiary at some point. How you conduct yourself, how you behave, because of leadership is about having the ability to influence others, meaning your followers, positively to follow you. How you dress, how you talk, you must be sensitive to your followers, you must be sensitive to students. How you behave, it's how you influence them to listen to you, to be able to be inspired by you. Without waste of time, I'm now going to allow Tyra Johnson to come and inaugurate the most special part of why we are here for, to preside the inauguration proceeding. Thank you, Tahira.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Good morning again to all the esteemed guests, specifically the SRC. This is a very prestigious event, so thank you for inviting me to be a part of it. What I'll be doing is we'll be calling up the SRC in groups, so first the central SRC and then per campus. I will be reading a declaration for purposes of each of you taking the prescribed oath. So I request that you listen attentively so that you can take the oath once we have read the declaration to you. So I think if we can get the central SRC up first, please. Thank you very much, Central SRC members. I will now be reading the prescribed oath. I do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of the position that I hold in the Student Representative Council of the University of Johannesburg, and I will, to the best of my ability, uphold and promote the interests, rights, and welfare of the student body. I pledge to serve with integrity, honesty, and fairness, and to represent the diverse voices and perspectives of my fellow students without bias or prejudice. I will uphold the Constitution of the SRC, bylaws, student charter, and policies of the Student Representative Council and the educational institution it serves. I will work collaboratively with my fellow council members, university staff, to address the needs and concerns of the student body and to strive for positive change and improvement within our school community. I understand the importance of this position and the trust that has been placed in me by my peers, and I commit myself to fulfilling the responsibility with dedication, diligence, and accountability. Members of the Central SRC, do you understand the content of the declaration?
Yes, we do.
Do you have any objection to taking the prescribed oath?
No.
Do you consider this oath to be binding on your conscience?
Yes, ma'am.
If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you very much, Central SRC members. We will now follow the same process with each campus, so if we can request the APK SRC members to please join us in the front. Thank you very much, APK SRC. I will now be reading the declaration to you. I do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of the position that I hold in the Student Representative Council of the University of Johannesburg, and will, to the best of my ability, uphold and promote the interests, rights, and welfare of the student body. I pledge to serve with integrity, honesty, and fairness, and to represent the diverse voices and perspectives of my fellow students without bias or prejudice. I will uphold the Constitution of the SRC, bylaws, student charter, and policies of the Student Representative Council and the educational institution it serves. I will work collaboratively with my fellow council members, university staff, to address the needs and concerns of the student body and to strive for positive change and improvement within our school community. I understand the importance of this position and the trust that has been placed in me by my peers, and I commit myself to fulfilling my responsibilities with dedication, diligence, and accountability. Members of the APK SRC, do you understand the content of the declaration?
Yes, we do.
Do you have any objection to taking the prescribed oath?
No objection.
Do you consider this oath to be binding on your conscience?
Yes.
If so, raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you very much, APK SRC. If we can now have the APB SRC join us in the front, please. APB SRC members, I will now be reading the declaration to you. I do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of the position that I hold in the Student Representative Council of the University of Johannesburg, and will, to the best of my ability, uphold and promote the interests, rights, and welfare of the student body. I pledge to serve with integrity, honesty, and fairness, and to represent the diverse voices and perspectives of my fellow students without bias or prejudice. I will uphold the Constitution of the SRC, bylaws, student charters, and policies of the Student Representative Council and the educational institution it serves. I will work collaboratively with my fellow council members, university staff, to address the needs and concerns of the student body and to strive for positive change and improvement within our school community. I understand the importance of this position and the trust that has been placed in me by my peers. I commit myself to fulfilling the responsibilities with dedication, diligence, and accountability. Do you understand the content of the declaration, APB SRC?
Yes, we do.
Do you have any objection to taking the prescribed oath?
No, we don't.
Do you consider this oath to be binding on your conscience?
Yes, we do.
If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you very much, APB SRC. If we can now have the DFC SRC join us in the front. Thank you, DFC SRC. I will now be reading the declaration to you. I do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office that I hold in the Student Representative Council of the University of Johannesburg, and will, to the best of my ability, uphold and promote the interests, rights, and welfare of the student body. I pledge to serve with integrity, honesty, and fairness, and to represent the diverse voices and perspectives of my fellow students without bias or prejudice. I will uphold the Constitution of the SRC, bylaws, student charter, and policies of the Student Representative Council and the educational institution that it serves. I will work collaboratively with my fellow council members, university staff, to address the needs and concerns of the student body and to strive for positive change and improvement within our school community. I understand the importance of this position and the trust that has been placed in me by my peers. I commit myself to fulfilling my responsibilities with dedication, diligence, and accountability. DFC SRC, do you understand the content of this declaration?
Yes, we do.
Do you have any objection to taking the prescribed oath?
No.
Do you consider this declaration to be binding on your conscience?
Yes.
If so, raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you very much, DFC SRC. We now call upon the Soweto SRC to join us in the front, please. Thank you, Soweto SRC. I will now be reading the declaration to you. I do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of the position in the Student Representative Council that I hold, and will, to the best of my ability, uphold and promote the interests, rights, and welfare of the student body. I pledge to serve with integrity, honesty, and fairness, and to represent the diverse voices and perspectives of my fellow students without bias or prejudice. I will uphold the Constitution of the SRC, bylaws, student charter, and policies of the Student Representative Council and the educational institution that it serves. I will work collaboratively with my fellow council members, university staff, to address the needs and concerns of the student body and to strive for positive change and improvement within our school community. I understand the importance of this position and the trust that has been placed in me by my peers. I commit myself to fulfilling my duties and responsibilities with dedication, diligence, and accountability. Soweto SRC, do you understand the content of the declaration?
Yes, we do.
Do you have any objection to taking the prescribed oath?
No.
Do you consider this oath to be binding on your conscience?
Yes.
If so, raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you very much, Soweto SRC. Congratulations to the newly inaugurated SRC members. We wish you the very best in your tenure and trust that you will bring positive change to the university. Thank you to my colleagues and thank you, Program Director.
Thank you very much, Council Tahira. Well done. I think now the university has officially welcomed you in your journey. You can now begin with your duties, though you've already begun without fear or favor. I'm now going to allow the current Central SRC President, Mr. Billy Malotane, to come and address the attendees and viewers online. Thank you.
Mr. Matonsi, I think the acting SD spoke about papers and books. I think we from today will process and start the procurement of my iPad. Yeah. Elected 2023 as the incoming SRC members, the end of the year 2023, around November, we received a communication from the university stating that the fees are going to be increased. it was a bombshell that was dropped on our doorstep, but it was handled very well by my fellow comrades, SRC members. Thank you very much. We did ensure that no student was left behind. We included all those who were owing, those who did not have money to pay for registration. And that happened in collaboration of student affairs, SRC members, and we cannot leave out the finance department. I can tell you most of the SRC members that I'm seeing here, treasurers and chairperson, very thulana kwa officing ya Mr. Tendani, going in and out looking for Mr. Mzwake when we could not find him. But I will also take this opportunity to thank the meeting that we had at the beginning of the year with the CFO. Not that we were submitting threats. I mean, the prosecutors in the building, we did indicate that we are not going to stop any strike that was going to take place because of the fees. But if we can work together, we can ensure that all the students are in the system. I think that, you know, our primary objective is to improve the quality of student life for the entire student body. I had a chat even before the last rugby game that we went to with the executive director. I thought he would be present here. You know, every time I'm given a platform, I'm sure he will say, you are always grievancing, you are always submitting grievances. But it's what we go through daily as student leaders. And those are the challenges that we are facing. We must submit them. He's the one who gave us that ticket that we must always send him texts. If not emails, we must call, so that he can see that we have called, there's an issue that we are facing and it needs his attention. In our last meeting, Mr. Matonsi, Mr. Hoi, we indicated that we want to bring the student vibrance back on campuses. And we spoke about remember and give. We spoke about REC. Those who don't know what REC is, I'm sure you'll just go to your SDPs, they'll tell you what REC is and how vibrant that structure used to be on campus. I mean, we have lost plus or minus 3 students this year. May their soul rest in peace. I mean, you know, we have quite a lot of responsibilities. And if we have substructures, if you have house committees, if you have REC, we share responsibilities with the structures. Some of the deaths could have been avoided if REC was there. That is the honest truth. Some of the deaths could have been avoided if REC was there. We can't find ourselves as an institution, a student passed away because the student did not have food. The student was hungry. That is, it's unacceptable. So we need to find ways to bring back that structure. In fact, that structure on paper is there. Its back is there. There is a budget for that structure. What is left must be an appointment. You know, the perks of being a UJ, a member of council, is that this information, it just comes to your doorstep or how, but this thing was not there. How is it now? But now we know. Now we know. I've communicated with Mr. Matonsi, Mr. Hoi, that we need the structure back. They told me a process of how it must come back. It's I did not really understand that, but this process of bringing it back, when it was taken out, this process did not take place. You understand? So we need to balance the two, but we will do that because we want it to be back. We will follow that process that they're saying we must follow. I think that in 2 months' time, SDPs, chairpersons, we must start appointing. We must start appointing members of REC to continue. There's no vibrance that we're going to bring in the absence of REC. Mr. Matunzi, you know the role it played. You explained to me how vibrant it was. SRC can be there, but alone, we can't. It's a lot of work. I mean, a lot have been said here on this podium by previous speakers. A lot of good words. But we can only achieve all those things through the support we're going to get from student affairs. We must radically, program director, and robustly engage. That one, we cannot leave it out. Because sometimes when we knock in this office, we're not getting assistance. When we knock in this office, we're not getting assistance. What must we tell our constituents? No, but you're not doing anything. But Bill, you are being soft. Yeah, you are being soft. You are not like that. But now you are being soft. Then I must go back. But we robustly and radically engage in a respectful manner. I always tell my colleagues, we can be angry however we want to be angry. But this tenure, this administration that I'm leading, we're not going to climb tables and throw chairs. Yeah, we must exhaust all engagements. Until they find time to sit down with us, we speak, engage, and exhaust all the engagements. We need to also check on the students' debt. Treasurers. I don't want to say all of you must go to APK because Mr. Tendani will fight with me. He's been chasing people from Soweto, no. There's a manager in Soweto, there's a manager in APB. They must work as well. They must work. They have a responsibility. We are working as well, and they must work as well. So you must go flood those campuses finance. If you are not getting assistance, you must go to APK. We flood APK until Mr. Mzwake comes out and asks us, Khantu, what's happening? They are not assisting us in our campuses. Because in emails, Mr. Program Director, we're not really getting response, but I would advise continue writing emails, because with those emails, we're going to go back and say we wrote an email on this day and there was no response. Where were you to assist us? Program Director, I'm not sure how much time I'm given. I can see that you want to stand up. Yeah, I still have time. But to conclude, what I want to highlight is that I will say it again. We need support from student affairs. Our leaders in student affairs, we need support. You know, if our treasurers would have these cards where we have programs, we're just going to swipe, we're not even going to come and knock at the door, here's a project proposal. We're just going to swipe, you'll see the vibrance on campus. So we really need support from our SDPs, our HODs, the entire student affairs board. Without you, we cannot do anything. We can't do anything. But I can tell you that if we can achieve all we have drafted in our POAs, students will always remember what we did. We've already started when the fees were increased. We've already started writing our legacy program direct. They will even tell you in finance, but we have never seen such since the history of the SRC Trust Fund assisting and paying AODs It happened during our time. I will leave you, comrades. I will call you comrades because you are my colleagues. Although we are from different organizations, we remain comrades. I always emphasize that our primary goal and objective is one, is the students' interest. Is that the sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. These were the words of Comrade Nelson Mandela when he was being inaugurated. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President. You'll all agree with me that it will be very much difficult for me to speak after the President. Ms. Nomsamahlangu, that you've mentioned about the army, all I can say is that if this was the army and he was the commander of the army, he would say after they've won the fight, mission accomplished, back to base. Taking back from what you have just said about Nelson Mandela, when he was inaugurated, he also said, people have spoken, let's go back and work. So I think the similar thing will apply to you. Without waste of time, I must thank the President, and I think green light to your leadership and the entire SRC Council. I also want to make mention and make special thanks to the current SRC, and I think Mr. Hoyi Mhlobo will agree with me on this. As the former chairperson of the electoral committee, we really have had a very fair, seamless process working with you, engaging, which for me, it also gave a sense of maturity about our students. You know, since 2020, I think we never had those real challenges. It tells the level to which our students at UJ have matured, the manner in which they engage, the manner in which they meet their timelines and so forth. And over and above, very few, if none, will find universities with a shared power. With UJ, we embrace democracy. It's a democratic leadership. Much as there is one president from a different political party or a student organization, however, the objective and the goal, it's one. And I also want to wish you well. Thank you. As I conclude, I'm being given another task to thank all the attendees, our special guests, which is you, SRC, for having made time to be here. It was through you that we're here, and we've been given this opportunity to participate. We really appreciate. The second people that I want to thank, it's all our special guests. I'm told that we've got prosecutors by the President. We've got counsel, yes. All the program participants, including Mr. Kenneth Tahira, our keynote speaker, Ms. Nomsamahlangu, the leader whose portfolio resides. We really want to thank you for having made time to honor this special engagement. I saw also our campus SDPs, they are all here, and all university staff. We really want to appreciate the time that we've made. Our technical staff, we really appreciate. Without you, one would have not been viewed online. Thank you for giving me that opportunity. It's quite important. I'm also reminded that there were photographers, so at least today I'll be on UJ Pictures. What an opportunity. You always see people being taking pictures, but you are not there, you know what I'm saying? So that is a great feeling. So from the bottom of my heart, I really want to appreciate. But who am I? Not to forget myself. Who's going to thank me? I always want to wish. I wish to thank myself as well for having participated as a program director for for this special occasion. My grandmother always said to me, when you are always saying you are going to serve on the program as you are going to thank all the program participants, who's going to thank you? And I remember that I must always also thank myself. I think there are announcements that I want perhaps one of the student affairs representatives to come to make in terms of the direction from here. Maybe Mandla? Thank you.
Program Director, let me thank you because there's no one to thank you. Colleagues, so we'll just have a moment of taking photos and then we'll go to the foyer where we'll have our refreshments. And thank you very much.